Round the outside of Zanardi through Love Field. This is also a corner where the AI is really struggling. Side by side onto the pit straight we go, and this may be very, very interesting. Oh, risky around the outside of Copse. Can we make it? Welcome back to our 1999 Formula 1 season in Automobilista 2, where we try to make Heinz-Harald Frentzen a Formula 1 world champion. Before we get underway, there are some bad news ahead of this race, as Michael Schumacher had a big accident in free practice here in Silverstone due to brake failure, breaking his legs and seeing him out for the foreseeable future. From this race on, Finland's Mika Salo will replace him in the number 3 Ferrari until he recovered. Now, in real life, of course, Schumacher's accident happened in the race, or pre-race in fact, so he was out of the season and the championship running from here. The race then was won by Coulthard ahead of Eddie Irvine, who was now Ferrari's only hope of winning a first Drivers' Championship since 1979. Our man Frentzen finished this race 4th, just missing out on a podium behind Ralf Schumacher. Now, between the Canadian and British Grand Prix, there was the French Grand Prix in real life, which was won by Frentzen in 1999, his first win of the campaign. Unfortunately, the Circuit Nevers-Magny-Cours is not in Automobilista 2, and since we are now the only German title hope in the championship remaining, I'm going super ambitious with this one to get us back in the championship fight, as I aim for the race win to get the 10 points which Frentzen got in Magny-Cours. We're starting this race from P5, our highest grid position so far this season, so let's see what I can do from here. The rest of the grid is on your screen right now, as we go racing for the British Grand Prix at the Silverstone circuit. Well, and here we are, launch control engaged, 5 red lights are on, and it's lights out, and away we go for the 1999 British Grand Prix. It is a good getaway. We're already alongside Mika Salo. Oh, he goes off the track at Copse Corner. We get a good run on him on the outside, on the exit though. And now into the S's we go. Oh, ambitious running side by side here. Mika Salo scares me off the road a bit as he left the track there again. And that, completely puts me out of the rhythm. And oh dear, we lose a multitude of positions. Down to P15 we go. We're defending from Johnny Herbert in the Stewart. Behind us, Jarno Trulli in the Prost is shortly ahead of us, but into Stowe we retake this position, but still we're down in 14th. Now this is the BAR of Ricardo Zonta, the car which Mika Salo drove for a couple of seasons to fill in for the injured Zonta. Well, Salo has now made the jump to Ferrari, and he jump scared us off the road. So Salo running in 4th, but I am down in P13, despite us starting alongside. Now into Prairie Corner we go, just behind Jacques Villeneuve in the other BAR. Let's see what we can do all round the outside here, which gives us an opportunity into Love Field, where we then are on the inside line, which is usually the preferable line. Oh, Villeneuve is still alongside us. Through Woodcote and on to the pit straight we go. P12 at the end of lap 1. Not the start we were hoping for, but at least we are still running. This could have ended very, very differently. But well, it is a recovery job from now on, and winning will be very difficult, as I can already tell you. The McLarens and Ferraris will be sailing off into the distance, as we were able to see there that the S's are still not my favorite part of this track. Well, to drive they're actually quite fun, but the AI is just so much quicker there. This was the case in the past, in our 1991 season, as well as in the FIA GT Championship 1997, as Villeneuve now, round Club, is having a look, but he has to back out as we are approaching the Abbey chicane now, which unfortunately is no longer on the new Silverstone circuit. As towards Bridge we go, a very, very quick right-hander, which usually is flat out. Well, Pedro Diniz certainly thinks differently, as he was lifting, and that has cost me a lot of time actually. as we go back through love field and onto the start-finish straight. And yeah, that is not good news. We didn't gain a position on the second lap, but now we're getting a terrific run on Diniz, the Brazilian, towards Copse. Yeah, we're not sending him into the shadow realms. Trying to make it past fair and square. Through the S as we go. Try and get a good run on him on the hanger straight, which we don't do, fortunately. Too far back, no chance into Stowe. Usually this should be the best overtaking zone on the track. Maybe there is an opportunity into Klopp. We're getting a fantastic run out of Stowe. We're alongside Diniz. We need to be careful as there's Fisichella. We can't run into the back of him. Diniz still alongside, but we have it now. We gained a position up to 11th. Bit of a risky move there into Club. Ooh, Diniz is still there having a look into the Abbey chicane, but we managed to stay ahead, and now through bridge we should have the advantage as the AI usually lifts, and again they do. And now we are setting after Giancarlo Fisichella in the Benetton. Bit of a disappointing season for him and Benetton. They're still waiting for their first points. Fisichella finished 7th twice, which is unfortunate. His points are only awarded to up to P6. Well, not looking like he will score points today, as we get a terrific run through Luffield, kept down to the inside, and past the Italian we go. He has a little look into Copse, thinks better of it, but now the crucial part is to stay ahead through the SS. And again, I was okay, I guess. So we should be safe from Fisichella. He gets the slipstream now, putting on a bit of a defensive line, but yeah, I think we should still be fine as we're setting after the next group of cars, which is actually Rubens Barrichello in the Stewart and Alessandro Zanardi in the Williams. Oh, and Jean Lazy is also there, I see. Round the outside of Zanardi through Lovefield. This is also a corner where the AI is really struggling. Side by side onto the pit straight we go, and this may be very, very interesting. Oh, risky around the outside of Copse. Can we make it? We actually do. We leave Zanardi the space, and gladly he does not do Lewis Hamilton 2021 impression and sends us into the tire barriers. So we leave to fight another day, as I will let you enjoy the sound of the V10 engines and stay quiet for a bit. Yeah, it was a terrific scrap there between Alesi and Barrichello. We got the better of Barrichello, and now we're almost close enough to try something into Stowe. Well, actually, we were close enough, but I think better of it, as I have experienced that Club is actually the much better overtaking opportunity. We're a bit late on the brakes, we'll release them a bit. Yeah, it gets very close there with the lazy, but we are through now. Barrichello also made it past the Sauber. Yes, he has. Though lazy has a little look down the inside of Barrichello. But Barrichello actually stays ahead. And now we're up to 7th, but there is a big gap now ahead of us to Damon Hill and Ralf Schumacher, who are in the final point scoring positions for the moment. Well, a couple of laps later, we were still 7th, but this was about to change as we see a Williams off the road. Ralf Schumacher in the gravel at Stowe Corner, and Damon Hill is just a couple of seconds up the road now. But the curious thing is, well, we are in the points now, but what has happened to Ralf Schumacher? Here is a replay of that, and it was actually little help by our teammate. Well, you will able to see a bit of tire smoke there. And yeah, the onboard of Damon Hill makes that much clearer because he actually punted Ralf Schumacher off the road. Oh, the former teammates, they didn't have the best of relations. And that showed there. So, Damon helps us into the point. So, a much better teammate relation, I would say there. But we were now hunting down the world champion of 1996, and now our teammate, but so far we had the upper hand on him, just as Frentzen did in the actual 1999 season. And oh, how much I would give for a team order right now, as again, I'll let you enjoy this battle of the Jordans in silence. Well, I say silence, with the scream of the V10 engines. Well, and as I said, what would I not give for a team order right now? Because we are much more on par with Damon's pace, so he's not that easy to pass. Somehow, he got a very poor run out of Cops. So we get quite the easy pass. Now, all we had to do is survive the S's. Well, how does that go? Let's see. Whew. F*** off, Damon. No, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, shit. Oh, damn it! I don't know why I got angry with Damon there for a second, because he actually let me past quite easily at the end of Cobbs, but yeah, then I almost lost it at the end of the SS, and that would have been a massive send into Priory. But yeah, I think I let Damon into my head and then made a mistake, so he's back past again. And what should follow is one of, if not the best battle I ever had with an AI in Automobilista 2, but see for yourselves now, as again, towards Cops, we get very close to him. This time he gets a much better run out of there. We're still almost side by side. He almost runs us off the road there. We had a wheel on the grass. Through the S's now, he has a bit of a gap. But I have much improved my run through that corner. Again, I'm almost a bit too early on the throttle. That is what almost made me poop my pants the lap earlier. But now, good run out of Stowe. This is a corner where I have pulled off some moves already. What do I do against Damon? It gets very close and he leaves just enough room. And, we were just about to bang wheels there. And I can only imagine the heart rate of Eddie Jordan. This is the second time this season we go wheel to wheel quite intensely. The first time was in Brazil, where we did this multiple times, and again, it's a send. It's an attempted send into Priory, but Damon Hill round the outside hangs on to it. And we are still behind the Jordan. Also, our one and only pit stop was getting closer. Round the outside of Luffield, we try it, but we do not pull it off. And in fact, next lap is when I will have to pit for fuel and fresh tires. As again, into Cobb's Corner. This time we are a bit further alongside. I request the pit stop, and just that second, I make it past Damon. But again, it's the S's now. And it will be crucial to keep my cool this time around and not let him by easily. We can go quicker, but I think these 3 laps that we were battling now, well, they have cost me some time. So that means the McLarens and Ferraris, which are now the only cars that are still ahead of us, they will have gained a lot of time on us now. In fact, someone has already been to the pits as we are up to 4th. By the time we all made our one and only pit stop this race, that will become 5th. And actually, I can't see Mika Salo ahead of me. Well, this time we also don't have the advantage of staying out longer and race with a lighter car, as only one car ahead of us has pitted before we do. Let's see who is in at the end of this lap. On the right here, there is the pit lane. Press the limiter, and that was a bit too conservative. I think Damon is in there as well. There is no double stacking in Automobilista. Every car will have their own pit box, and Adi Irvine is already exiting the pits, and behind us is Mika Salo. He is the car that is just ahead of us. Tires have been changed. There is Ralf Schumacher, who is now in 7th. Mika Salo is actually not too far ahead of us. I think our pit stop was slightly quicker than that one of the Ferrari pit crew. And out of the pits we go momentarily. We are 7th, but as I said, by the time everyone has made their pit stops, this will become 5th. And this is just 2 laps later, and indeed it did become 5th. But we have been gaining on Mika Salo. So this is a race for P4 now, as we go into Priory, and this is the part of track where we are gaining so much time on any of the AI drivers. And ahead of us there is some traffic now. This is one of the Minardis. I can't tell which one it is. Oh, and Salo gets a poor run out of Lovefield, and now the Minardi gets in the way, and we just squeezed through there. Oh, that was brave, silly, stupid. Well, but it paid off. We're up to 4th. And that was quite the quick pass we made there, and we even gained time as the Minardi got in the way of Mika Salo, who still is having a decent debut for Ferrari. He will definitely finish in the points if his car makes it to the end. Let's see if he gets a good run here on the hangar straights. I don't think he does. We are a bit early on the brakes, but yeah, get the much better exit, and that should be us into P4. Well, but unfortunately, just after Canada, this is the second race, only the second race, where there was no safety car at all, and that meant that by the end of lap 30 we haven't caught up to neither of the McLarens or Eddie Irvine's Ferrari, so we are actually coming home here in 4th. We set the fastest lap of the race, which is extra frustrating because it meant we actually had the pace to win the race. Again, I already messed that one up on lap 1 as we lap Pedro de la Rosa here just before the finish line, so we come home in P4, which is our 5th points finish in 6 races, which is good, but again, it's off the podium, and it could have been, and it should have been. Which better? Still, let's look at the point scorers, and actually, P1 and P2 are just like they were in the real race. Coulthard wins ahead of Irvine, Häkkinen completes the podium. We finish where Frentzen finished this race, which is 4th. Mika Salo takes 2 points on his debut with Ferrari, and Damon Hill makes this another Jordan double points finish. Well, and in the Drivers' Championship, that means that David Coulthard has now retaken the lead of the championship. He's now on 40 points. Mika Häkkinen 5 points behind him. Eddie Irvine 14 points behind him in 3rd. And well, we are 19 points behind him in 4th. Well, it's the halfway point of the season, and we're not out of the running, but we need to do better in the second half. More podiums, and especially more race wins. We need to begin to outscore Coulthard by quite some margin, actually. In the Constructors' Championship, at the halfway point of the season, things look pretty settled with the top 3. McLaren with a big lead over Ferrari in 2nd, and Ferrari themselves with a big lead over Jordan in 3rd. And we are 20 points ahead of Williams, BAR and Stewart, but then any points finish might change the balance in that battle. Every team past these or behind these top 6 still waiting for their first points finish. And that has been it with the British Grand Prix 1999 in Automobilista 2. The next race will be the first one of the second half of the season, and that one will take place at Spielberg in Austria. Subscribe to not miss that, leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.